two main movements we're going to be using this week are rolls. They're going to look like sweeps, but again, since we're in a bad position, it's technically a reversal. And what we call a Granby roll to recover guards. So we're going to have ways to get on top this week, and we're going to have ways to get our guard back. Okay, let's start with one of our reversals. So Grant is going to get the side of turtle. He's going to start with a tight waist grip. Okay, so a lot of heavyweights prefer this. Whenever somebody goes tight waist, or they just generally bring their arm through a lot, they're offering a lever here. Okay, whether he's holding my waist, sometimes people will grab your wrist here. Okay, all these situations offer his arm to me. So what I'm going to look to do here, okay, while I'm defending my neck, while I'm defending him locking grips, is I'm going to look to almost headlock his wrist here. Okay, I want a headlock. So if he goes to rip his arm out, go ahead, his fist gets caught at the end of that lock. Okay, it's not necessarily wrong to make a gi grip or make a wrist grip here, but what you're risking is him just pulling his arm away enough so you don't have leverage. Okay, I want this nice and deep here. Okay, now another central thing we're going to look at is getting in proper position for all these escapes. Okay, I don't want to be parallel with him. I really want to be perpendicular. So I'm always going to be going towards the body lock grip. So what I'm going to look to do is start to circle my feet out. Okay, I'm going to kick them out. Now, in order to reverse him, I need to be able to move his weight. To move somebody's weight, you need to be underneath their hips. So what I'm going to look to do is walk towards him. Okay, as I walk towards him, I'm going to slide my bottom hip, that's my left knee in this case, through his base so I load his weight up. Okay, see, now he's on top of me. So if he does something like a sprawl here, see he's kind of floating, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to reverse him. Okay, from here, I can look to cover his hip with my elbow so he's not sliding out, and we can look to switch to numerous top positions. We can look to let go, slap his knee, go to mount. Okay, we can look to block the hip, maybe look for 100-kilo side control, stuff like that. Okay, I get my elbow tight to his wrist. Okay, before I make any movement to start to reverse him, I'm going to situate myself perpendicular to him. Okay, so I'm going to kick my feet out. I'm going to look to walk towards him, so that as I slide under, I start to load his weight on top of mine. From here, I continue my roll. As I'm doing this, I'm always looking to get my elbow tight to his waist. Okay, now from here, I can look to switch to wherever I want. Make sense? It's going to be the same movement where we bring our legs out. Okay, as we bring our legs out, we're still looking to step up, but this time instead of sliding under like this, I'm going to look to build a base to my shoulder. Okay, so that would be a Granby roll. That's going to be the source of the next two movements. It's going to be the same position, and you're going to use this a lot more when they're not as tight to your waist. So they're almost dynamic with this arm. Okay, one of the best times to differentiate between the two. So you remember what I said last time, that I need actual arm to grab for that last reversal. If he's playing loose on my hip here, a lot of times it's going to be really hard to scoop that wrist. Okay, so I'm going to be looking to do the same thing here. Okay, I'm turning my legs out. As I turn my legs out, I'm looking to build my base by stepping up. I'm going to activate on both toes so I can drop to my inside shoulder. Very important as you do this to get the most out of your position is to tuck your chin and look towards your knees. Okay, we don't want to be like this. We want to be here. Okay. Now the last thing we have to worry about here is this hand. If it's loose, I'm just going to push it to my pocket. Okay. If he's going tight waist, we need to push his elbow. Okay, here. Now watch. I want to roll through this way. If you guys do this, you're going to put yourself right in side control. Okay, I see people do that all the time. So this needs to be, you go just here. I'm walking this way, and then I'm rolling through this way to actually off balance and get through him here. I'm not looking to knock him over. I'm just looking to, at the very least, face him and get my guard back. Okay, one time. So we're here. Okay. Again, I'm always sliding my feet out, and then from here, I'm going to look to step up and build my base as I fold in. I'm pushing this hand past. If he's deep and I can't push the hand, I'll push the elbow. Now I keep walking. Now I bring my legs through, and then we have our guard back. Okay. Lots of opportunities there as we kick through. If he makes a big mistake and he comes towards me, like yes, we could use this to look to capture submissions too. Okay. Most people though, like experienced people, they're probably gonna back off once you push those hips in. Okay. Here, turn my legs out, step up, hold my head, come through. Now we have our grappling. Make sense? All right, cool. Let's go.
For example, if he's tight here and he's holding on really tight, you go to kick through, Grant's going to take this grip and he's going to pull your hips back to the mat. Go ahead.
Okay. And that's when you're going to look at things like leg drags. That's why I keep saying this to you guys. Like, you have to deal with that grip. It's a big problem if they know what they're doing. Okay. Most people, like, especially lower belts, like, yeah, you'll just get out there, but that is something you really need to identify. Okay. So when we're here and I'm going to roll, especially if he's tight to my waist here, look, I need to beat this grip so I lose leverage of the hips, okay? Did I make a big pretty roll here? No, okay? But am I in a bad position? Also no. Like if he starts to move here to pass my guard, go ahead. You basically just get what you want, okay? That's more realistic. You guys understand? Okay, keep that in your head. When you got here right off of the Bodylock takedown, right? Again, that's what we looked at a couple weeks ago. So the next movement we're going to do is going to be a more exaggerated version of literally of what we just did. It's going to be a full Granby roll, okay? Now, we're not looking to recover guard here. Since he's attached to our hips, we can exploit this as a reversal. So it's almost going to be like a marriage of the first two techniques, okay? It's going to start as a Granby, but it's going to end up as a way to get on top, okay? Assuming he keeps his hands locked, okay? So if you're in a grand spot, do your best to keep your hands locked, okay? What this position should also tell you is that he's committed to your waist, which is not conducive with submissions right away. I'm not in immediate danger here of being submitted if he's committed to controlling my waist, which tells me that I can be freer with my hands, okay? So you can post your hands for this one, okay? If he lets go, you're ready to defend, okay? So we're gonna make the same angle and movement as the last technique. I'm gonna step up, start to slide to a really good angle here, okay? From here, we're still gonna build that base of the shoulder, and we're gonna roll all the way through. So as I build my base of the shoulder, I'm gonna keep turning towards him, and I'm gonna extend my legs. So I come all the way over the top, okay? If he lets go, great. A lot of people will, and they'll do the smart thing and try to scramble here. If he doesn't, okay? The big thing I need to worry about here is his legs. So Grant still has a body lock. He's on the bottom, but if he has good hips and he switches them, he's going to drive to the top. He's going to keep body lock past me. He'll switch to arm triangles, lots of bad stuff. So, okay, this is where I'll say pro wrestling isn't fake. You need to hook the leg like when they're going for a pin, okay? Here, try to split your legs to come up now. Okay. Grant, the man with all the golden questions, had answers about this grip, or questions about this grip. Can you grab like this? Okay, extend your leg. You're gonna lose leverage like that. Extend your leg. See it, I'm attached to it, okay? Could you grab this leg? Same thing, extend, yes, very hard. Same thing here. Yeah, very hard. So that's why I'm adamant you take the outside hand, go across to the far leg and hook across. That's going to probably be your best leverage here, unless you're really strong, okay? Okay. Could we stand up if he lets us? Yes, okay? Could we just wait for him to unlock his hands? Yes, okay? Will he always do that? Not necessarily, especially if he's winning on points and there's low time on the clock. You need to get out of this grip, okay? So, just like the last one, but more exaggerated. We're going to build up to our hands. As soon as you feel like you can't walk perpendicular anymore, to the point where he's almost following you, that's when you hit the roll, okay? I drop to my shoulder, I tuck my chin, I kick through his shoulders. Right away, I sit up and I hook his leg, okay? Now from here, if he lets go, we can just look to get side control. If he looks to scramble, like let go and scramble, from here, we're already in a good position to start winning the scramble. Going to different things. Make sense? Again, I'm not fearful of being submitted right now, I'm just fearful of being taken down, okay? And again, what I said throughout the whole week, a good example of this, Gary Tonin against Wagner Hoja, AACC 2017. You get really good with this counter movement, you could even do this standing, okay? This is a very dynamic movement, okay? So here and walking. When I'm ready, I build my base, I kick through, and I hook this leg, okay? Now this is gonna buy me time to switch to side control. If he lets go and tries to scramble up, my head's higher than his, I can go to knee on belly. If he underhooks, I can step over for monoplata. If he does manage to get to his knees, I can look to put him in front headlock now too, okay? Make sense? All right, cool. This is where most of your submissions are gonna be, okay? So we need to respect this grip. This is gonna be the opposite of the last one in terms of like how we're disciplining our upper body, right? Not posting here, okay? I have an arm like super close to my neck. We just went over this in the basics class. He's gonna put that thumb in my collar. Yeah, he's gonna go for the rear naked. And you know, this arm's here too. He's gonna look to crucifix me a lot. Yeah, don't want that. So, treat this like all of our back escapes, okay? Wrist and elbow. Let's keep monitoring that choking arm, okay? Same as all the other escapes. Notice this arm, it's still basically a body lock arm. We're still rotating out towards that arm, okay? Now, I want you guys to rotate out so much that you're overcompensating for the crucifix too. As long as I have this elbow in front, he can crucifix me. So as you're walking out, I want this elbow to at least clear this near knee right here, okay? If you do that, it's going to be way harder for him to put you in a crucifix, okay? Now, this is going to be very similar to the first technique we did, okay? I'm going to keep turning towards him. I'm going to look to hit another slide through. So I'm walking towards him, and as I slide through, I'm looking to pull him forwards so I can bump his butt and hook his leg here, okay? I'm bringing my heel over, and I'm turning my knee down so I have good control over his leg, okay? Now I'm going to roll him through. I still keep that knee turned down so that if Grant stretches his leg here, look, it tracks this leg, okay? So for those of you that are very familiar with half guard, it's that coyote hook we do in half guard all the time, okay? If you relax this leg and you don't use that hook, he is gonna kick out, and now we're looking at a scramble where he's gonna try to take your back, okay? So this is very important for this escape, okay? Now let's continue to escape our back control here. At this point, we're almost free from submissions. The exclamation point here is going to be getting this elbow to the mat. Okay. So now I'm free to let go. If he goes to submit me here, like the angle for my neck, it's just not there for either collar chokes or rear neck. It's going to be very difficult. Okay. So let's assume he holds on. Okay. I'm going to punch this elbow in, pummel my hand through, escape the seatbelt. Now, this is another thing I wanted to touch on for our situations in competition we've been having. A lot of the guys I've been seeing compete lately, you escape the back really well, okay? Gotta win there. But what happens most of the time after you escape the back, he's gonna switch to the next position, which is usually the top position. If we don't do anything, you're gonna go right to mount. And even though you escaped, like he's gonna score on that too. And you know, it's generally a bad position. So at the end here, we're just gonna add one detail. So this habit's in your guys' mind. So you have this insurance policy, okay? So again, we're controlling the choking arm. We're turning out. We're sliding through. As we slide through, we're pulling him off base, hooking his leg, rolling through. Okay, keeping this knee turned out so he's not getting this leg back. Elbow to the floor, punch up, pummel your hand in. At any point during that process, he's going to look to kick this leg over. You need to bring this knee high. So when he comes to go to mount, he's going to run into a butterfly hook. And then from here, we're safe to recover guards, or even better if he stands up off that. We can look to switch to things like X guard again. Make sense? One more time. Controlling so I'm not getting choked. I'm making a good angle here. Make sure you're clearing this elbow too. Again, I'm stepping up. I'm sliding under him just like the first technique. Pulling him off base and hooking his leg here. Okay, I'm going to roll him through. Get my elbow to the ground. As I'm doing all this, I'm keeping my knee positioned well as I hand fight and escape the seatbelt so that when Grant goes to his next play here, go ahead all the way. We're already ready to recover guards, okay? At the very least, we're not getting mounted there. Make sense? All right, cool. Let's go.